So Sonoma and Healdsburg are two wine country towns that are just 40 minutes apart, but in terms of lifestyle, they're just worlds apart from each other. In one area, former execs shared picnic tables with teachers and winemakers at community events. In the other, multi-generational families guard traditions that haven't changed in decades. So today, I'm explaining the lifestyle differences that have caught hundreds of families off when moving to this area. So first, let's talk about location and accessibility. When you're thinking about where to live in wine country, your daily commute and travel patterns matter more than you might expect. And this is where Healdsburg and Sonoma start to show their true colours. So Sonoma sits probably only about 45 miles from San Francisco. That's about an hour's drive on a good day. Compare that to Healdsburg at 70 miles and an hour and a half in rush hour, and you're looking at much more commuting time if you do need to go to San Francisco. That being said, that is all about to change as the Narrows construction project in Petaluma comes to an end. For Bay Area commuters, especially if you're heading to the South Bay or the East Bay, Sonoma makes much more sense. But to be realistic, neither place is ideal if you're making the daily commute. If it's just a few times a week, both places could definitely work. But here's where it gets interesting. If you fly regularly for business or pleasure, Healdsburg definitely has the edge. Charles Schulz Airport in Santa Rosa is only 10 minutes away from downtown Healdsburg. I mean, we're talking direct flights to LA, Phoenix, Portland, Palm Springs, and Seattle. From Sonoma, you're looking at over an hour away to any major airport, and that's without traffic. So here's a game changer that not everyone knows about yet. The Smart Train extension is already in Windsor, which is only 10 minutes south of Healdsburg. This means direct connection to Larkspur Ferry and into San Francisco without ever touching a car. For people who've been hesitant about the Healdsburg commute, this could definitely change everything. Now, if you love the coast, Healdsburg wins hands down. You can be at Jenner in the Russian River in 45 minutes. Perfect for those summer days when inland temperatures climb well into the 90s. From Sonoma, you're looking at well over an hour to reach the coast. And the Russian River access from Healdsburg means that kayaking, paddleboarding, they're literally right in your backyard. If being close to Napa is important, Sonoma gives you a 30-minute shot straight to downtown Napa. This makes Sonoma incredibly popular with people who want to experience both Napa and Sonoma wine regions. But location is only the beginning of the differences in these two areas. And speaking of beginnings, if you're just discovering this channel, you've actually found something pretty special here. There are plenty of people talking about wine country real estate, but I'm giving you the insider perspective that only comes from actually living here and helping tons of families navigate these exact decisions. So please take a moment and hit the subscribe button. It just really helps my channel. Now, let's talk about how differently these towns approach food and dining. The culinary differences between Healdsburg and Sonoma tells you a lot about who lives in each town and what they value. Healdsburg has earned its reputation as Sonoma County's foodie capital, and the accolades definitely back it up. I mean, Single Thread holds 3 Michelin stars. That makes it one of the most prestigious restaurants in California, and in fact, in the US as a whole. Valette has a Michelin star with its innovative Californian French cuisine. We're talking about restaurants where dinner reservations often book months in advance, and tasting menus, I mean, they can run to $400 per person. But trust me, it's worth it for that special occasion and you want to have a blowout. The dining scene keeps evolving too. The new Hotel Appalachian is about to deliver another incredible food experience. Within a 1-mile radius of the plaza, you'll find over 40 restaurants. I mean, that's incredible for a town of just 12,000 people. Now, Sonoma takes a different approach to dining. Sonoma's dining scene reflects its longer history and more traditional values. The Girl and the Fig is a local place that's been serving farm-to-table cuisine for 27 years. It's become as much a part of Sonoma's identity as the plaza itself. El Dorado Kitchen, and then another one, has been a California cuisine staple since 2006. And then Cafe La Haye has been serving locals since, I think it was back in the 1990s. But here's when things took a turn for Sonoma's dining scene. Kloss opened in 2023 as the first 2 Michelin star restaurant in town. This shows that Sonoma can also compete at the highest levels while maintaining its down-to-earth character. So what sets Sonoma apart from Healdsburg is the price diversity. You can grab incredible $10 tacos from a food truck near the plaza or splurge $300 on a tasting menu. I mean, sometimes these are on the same block. The real difference comes down to this. Healdsburg's food scene feels cutting edge and experimental. constantly pushing boundaries. Sonoma feels a bit more rooted in tradition while still embracing quality food. I mean, both approaches work, but they attract different types of foodies. The wine scene differences are probably even more dramatic, especially when you consider that one town gives you access to 3 major appellations, while the other focuses on the heritage and the history. I mean, wine is at the heartbeat of daily life anywhere in Sonoma County, shaping everything from your social calendar to your weekend activities. Healdsburg sits at this incredible geographic sweet spot where 3 wine appellations converge. The Russian River brings world-class Pinot and Chardonnay, Dry Creek Valley specializes in Zinfandel, and then Alexander Valley produces like bold Cabernet Sauvignon. Within a 20-minute drive from downtown Healdsburg, you can visit over 150 wineries. I mean, the variety is staggering. The tasting experiences in Healdsburg tend to be a little more casual and intimate, although that is slowly changing. Average tastings run to $35 to $50, and about 70% of these are family-owned operations where you might find yourself chatting with a winemaker or even the owner. These aren't perhaps just tourist operations in the same way that some of the wineries near Sonoma are. They're often passion projects where every bottle tells a story, and the type of resident each town attracts often determines whether you prefer these intimate experiences or something a little bit grander. I'll break down this detail a bit more later in the video. Sonoma approaches wine from a completely different angle, one steeped in California history. Buena Vista, established in 1857, it holds a title as California's first commercial winery, and the plaza itself is surrounded by more than 40 tasting rooms, all within walking distance. You can spend an entire day tasting wine without ever getting in your car, and you definitely won't want to get in your car at the end of that. The diversity of experiences in Sonoma ranges from grand estates to more urban tasting rooms. Sebastiani and Benziger provide those classic winery tour experiences with trains, caves, and panoramic views. Meanwhile, places like Waltz, Sojourn, and Three Sticks have opened sophisticated tasting rooms right off the plaza. Tasting prices vary more widely in Sonoma too, probably from $20 at the smaller end to over $100 for premium estates. But here's what it comes down to. Healdsburg gives you variety and innovation. Winemakers are constantly experimenting and with new techniques and varietals. Sonoma gives you the tradition and established excellence, wineries that have been perfecting their craft for generations. Now here's where the real differences emerge. The community culture and who these towns attract. To me, the phrase that best captures Healdsburg community spirit, "Come sit with us." And it's not some marketing slogan, it's just how the town operates. Healdsburg deliberately mixes income levels within neighborhoods. You'll find a $4 million home sitting right next door to multifamily housing. I mean, there are no gated communities within the city limits, and that's by design. The city's 2040 general plan specifically calls for mixed income neighborhoods to preserve community character. And this creates something truly special. I mean, at the Tuesday concert series running from May through September, you'll see wealthy individuals picnicking next to teachers and winemakers chatting with retail workers. The Future Farmers Parade, now over 100 years old, brings together every part of the community. The Turkey Trot on Thanksgiving morning draws over 2,000 participants, from kids to grandparents. And then Healdsburg also has the Prune Packers baseball team that's community owned and operated. It embodies the spirit perfectly of what Healdsburg is all about. And the Prune Packer Games become a gathering place for people within the town where social boundaries disappear. All of this is a balance you won't find in many California towns. Sonoma operates on a slightly different wavelength, one of values, tradition, and multi-generational connections. About 40% of residents have lived there for over 20 years. That creates deep roots and established social networks. The town's history is the birthplace of California, with the Bear Flag Revolt happening right on the plaza, infuses daily life with a sense of permanence. And tourism shapes Sonoma dramatically more than it does Healdsburg, although Healdsburg is getting more and more touristy. I mean, pre-2020, the town averaged 3.5 million annual visitors, and on peak weekends, the population can increase tenfold. I mean, being the county's namesake makes Sonoma a must-visit destination. This brings both economic benefits and lifestyle challenges. And then there's the upcoming SMART train extension to Healdsburg that will likely shift this tourist flow, but we're going to discuss that more in a moment. But it's the housing differences that will shock you when you see the actual numbers. I mean, one town literally has double the inventory of the other. So let's talk about the real estate options. I mean, these numbers tell a story that goes way beyond simple supply and demand. Right now, as I film this video, Sonoma has 225 homes for sale. Healdsburg, only 113. That's right, Sonoma has exactly double the inventory. And this isn't some temporary blip. It's a consistent pattern that shapes everything about these markets. Sonoma just has more inventory. In Sonoma, the median home price sits at about $1.2 million. Properties range from $650,000 starter homes to $15 million estates. The average home spends about 42 days on the market, and that gives buyers time to think and negotiate. The luxury market in particular stands out, with 45 homes currently listed above $5 million. The East Side estates with vineyard views, well, they represent some of the most prestigious properties in wine country, which are in Sonoma. Healdsburg tighter inventory creates different dynamics. I mean, the median price runs a little bit more at $1.4 million. It's about $200,000 higher than Sonoma homes. And homes range from $750,000 to, $10 million. But finding anything under $1 million requires patience and probably some sort of compromise. Properties average about 38 days on market, and they're moving slightly faster despite the higher prices. What makes Healdsburg unique are the new development opportunities you just won't find in Sonoma. The Mill District will add over 200 homes and condos in the next few years. Montage Residences is bringing in 60 luxury homes starting at $3 million. And Enzo Village creates an age-restricted community for active adults. I mean, these aren't your typical subdivisions. They're resort-style living communities with amenities that rival five-star hotels. But if you're looking for value in Healdsburg, look north of Powell Avenue, where prices run 15 to 20% lower for similar homes that you might get in the downtown area. In Sonoma, properties west of Highway 12 provide better values while still keeping you relatively close to town. And both towns have got beautiful historic homes, but they're distributed differently. Sonoma concentrates its historic properties around the plaza and on the east side of town, creating distinct neighborhoods with consistent architectural character. Healdsburg mixes era and styles more freely. A restored Victorian might share a block with, a multifamily unit or brand new construction. Another thing to keep in mind is the climate differences between these two towns. They might seem minor, but they do affect your daily life in ways that often surprise people. Both towns share the Mediterranean climate that the wine country is famous for: warm, dry summers and cool, wet winters. But there are some differences that matter more than you think. Summer temperatures in Healdsburg average about 88 degrees for the high, and then about 52 degrees for the low. Sonoma runs a little cooler at 85 degrees and then 51 as a low. I mean, 3 degrees might not sound like much, but when you're trying to relax and you're outside in the afternoon, those 3 degrees do make a little bit of a difference. The microclimates add another layer. In Healdsburg, your proximity to the Russian River can drop temperatures by 5 to 10 degrees within a 5-mile range. Understanding all these nuances, from microclimates to which neighborhoods have the best value, is exactly why we put together our free ebook all about moving to Healdsburg. I'll save you months of research and help you avoid costly mistakes. Just grab it through the link in the description below. So now, South Sonoma benefits from something called the Carneros influence. Cool air is flowing up from San Pablo Bay. This marine influence keeps summer afternoons more comfortable and extends the great growing season, particularly in the southern area of Sonoma. The fog patterns differ too. Sonoma sees more consistent morning fog that burns off by noon. Healdsburg's fog comes and goes a little more unpredictably. Both towns enjoy 220 to 240 days of sunshine in the growing seasons. That creates a perfect environment for wine grapes and gardens alike. If you're into your gardening or growing your own food, either town provides ideal conditions. So which area is the best to live in? Well, let me break this down based on what matters most to you. After helping dozens of people like you make this decision, clear patterns emerge about who thrives in each town. I mean, choose Sonoma if your proximity to San Francisco drives your decision. That's an extra 30 minutes each way from Healdsburg, and it adds up over time, especially if you're commuting more than 3 or more days a week. The easier East Bay access through multiple routes also gives you flexibility that Healdsburg can't match. Sonoma makes sense if you want the biggest selection of houses to choose from. With double the inventory, you can be more selective about neighborhood, style, and price point. Those 45 luxury homes above $5 million are options you just won't find in Healdsburg at any time. If you prefer traditional, established communities where families have lived for generations, Sonoma definitely delivers that in spades. The pace feels a bit slower, more deliberate. change happens gradually, preserving the character that attracted you in the first place. Privacy seekers find more options in Sonoma too. Those east side estates and hillside properties provide separation and space that's probably a little bit harder to find in Healdsburg, or certainly it's not as plentiful. And if California history matters to you, living where the state began carries weight that new development can't match. So choose Healdsburg if you travel frequently for business or pleasure. That 10-minute airport access changes everything, especially with direct flights up and down the West Coast. The upcoming smart train connection will also make access to San Francisco even easier without the driving stress. And Healdsburg works beautifully for people who want immediate community integration. That come sit with us mentality. It means you'll make friends at the farmers market, meet neighbors at community events, and feel connected within months rather than years. Food lovers who prioritize cutting-edge dining find Healdsburg irresistible. Those Michelin stars, I mean, they're not accidents. You don't use them every day, but it also builds a whole ecosystem of a restaurant scene. They reflect a community that values culinary innovation and supports restaurants that are pushing the boundaries. River access and coastal proximity matter for your lifestyle. Again, Healdsburg's location can't be beaten. Weekend trips to the coast or afternoon kayaking on the Russian River or sunset walks along the river trails become part of your routine. The new resort-style living options in Healdsburg also appeal to people who want luxury amenities without the isolation of a gated community. Those just don't exist in Sonoma. These developments provide the best of both worlds, high-end living with community connection. So whether you choose Sonoma's historic charm or housing variety or Healdsburg's innovative spirit and tight-knit community, both towns provide distinct wine country lifestyles that work for the right people. The key is matching your priorities, whether that's commute patterns, community lifestyle, or lifestyle preferences to the right town. Choosing where to plant your roots in wine country is one of the biggest decisions you'll ever make. That's why I'd love to be your guide through this journey. My team and I have helped over 400 families find their perfect spot in wine country. So shoot me an email at david@BruingtonHargreaves.com and let's have a real conversation about making wine country your home. And before you go, I've got something that will give you an even deeper perspective. I actually filmed an entire day in the life of a real Healdsburg resident. And it's nothing like that tourist experience. We're talking about morning coffee at Flying Goat, lunch at the locals only spot that doesn't even have a sign, and ending with sunset drinks at a tasting room. That's not on any wine tour map. Just click right here to watch it next, because understanding daily life in wine country is completely different from visiting as a tourist at the weekend. Trust me, this video will change how you think about living here. Until the next video, go well.